Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I begin this statement with a message on behalf of the Malaysian government and specifically the MH370 SAR team. We would like to extend our deepest sympathies and condolences to those on board the tragic incident involving the South Korean ferry that departed from Incheon planned for Jeju. We emphasize and can imagine how difficult it can be for the families and the SAR team coping with the situation. Our thoughts and prayers are with them. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now entered day 43 of the search operations for MH370. It has been 6 weeks since we started the operation, in which we have continuously refined the search area in the quest to locate the missing aircraft. We have pursued every possible lead presented to us at this stage, and with every passing day, the search has become more and more difficult. On Thursday, I spoke with Angus Houston, and he has briefed me on the images captured from the Bluefin 21 AUV. I can confirm that the Bluefin 21 has captured clear and sharp images of the seabed while conducting its search mission in the underwater search area. However, from all 6 missions conducted, no contacts of interest have been found to date. Bluefin 21 AUV's 7th mission has commenced this morning. From the images, Angus has also informed me that the terrain of the seabed is undulating, and the Bluefin 21 is focusing on the immediate search area based on the pings that have been detected. Some media reports have stated that it would take the Bluefin 21 anywhere from 6 weeks to 2 months to scan the entire underwater search area. This is incorrect. The immediate search area that the Bluefin 21 is now scouring should be completed within the next week. As Prime Minister Abbott stated earlier this week, and I quote, "We will regroup and reconsider the SAR operations if there are no new updates in the given time." I have to stress that this is not to stop the operations, but to also consider other approaches which may include widening the scope of the search and utilizing other assets that could be relevant in the search operations. The search will always continue. It is just a matter of approach. All efforts will be intensified for the next few days with regards to the underwater search. I would also like to take this opportunity on behalf of the Malaysian government to again thank Australia on narrowing the search area and doing all that they can for MH370, and I look forward to personally meeting up with JACC and Angus Houston in the very near future. Ladies and gentlemen, as I announced a few weeks ago, 3 ministerial committees have been established. They have been working tirelessly and will now update you all on their progress. The Next of Kin Committee, led by Hamzah Zainuddin, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, is working closely with the various governments, especially the countries whose nationals were on board the MH370. From the meetings with the respective embassies and the high commissions, various issues that needed urgent attentions were addressed. Hamzah has also discussed with his counterparts in Beijing, and both sides have exchanged views and discussed ways and means to deal with the situation with regards to the families and those on board. The Technical Committee, led by Aziz Kaprawi, the Deputy Minister of Transport, has developed and drafted the proposed structure and terms of reference of the Aircraft Accident Investigation Team for MH370 in accordance with the Malaysian Civil Aviation Regulations 1996, MCAR 1996, Annexure 13, Aircraft Accident and Incident Investigation, Chicago Convention. The structure was developed after consulting the experts from the Air Accidents Investigation Branch, United Kingdom, AAIB, National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB of the US, Australian Transportation Safety Board, ATSB, and the Air Accident Investigation Department in China. The proposed team would comprise of local and also international experts. We have also spoken with the ASEAN Secretariat on the possibility of appointing some of the counterparts to come on board. This is in accordance with the ASEAN Memorandum of Understanding on cooperation relating to aircraft accidents and incident investigations that was signed in 2008. The Asset Deployment Committee, the third committee, has identified private companies that have the capabilities for deep water salvage and recovery work, and other national assets can be deployed to support this operation. Local companies such as DefTech and Bastard have been tasked to discuss with their international collaborative partners such as Saab, DCNS in France, and others to identify the relevant assets and instruments required for the search operations. I've also been in consultation with Jean-Paul Trudec, given his experience in handling the Air France Flight 447 in deploying private commercial assets to assist in this search operation. In conclusion, as we move on to the next phase of the search, I am humbled that more friends from other nations have expressed their willingness to assist and support our efforts to locate MH370. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will start with the Q&A sessions. We will start with the local media first. Please, in this corner, could you? The mic is right behind you, sir. If you could just stand up. Minta tolong tu mic lah. Thank you. Memperkenalkan diri, introduce yourself first, sir.
Assalamualaikum Datuk Seri. Saya Rodilio dari Utusan Malaysia.
Waalaikumsalam.
Datuk Seri, sekarang ni nampaknya bluefin adalah harapan untuk kita mendapat apa-apa maklumat terbaru mengenai MH370. Tetapi sekiranya benar apa yang Tony Abbott katakan akan diberhentikan nanti, apakah lagi keupayaan kita untuk memastikan harapan untuk mengetahui apa misteri ini dapat diselesaikan?
Bluefin 21 tak akan diberhentikan, malah seperti kenyataan saya tadi bahawa kita akan tambah lagi aset dengan kerjasama daripada pihak swasta. Di sini syarikat DefTech, DRB, Baustat dan beberapa lagi syarikat di Malaysia telah pun berjumpa dan berbincang dengan rakan-rakan mereka di peringkat antarabangsa cara bagaimana kita boleh tambah the AUVs yang untuk kita pastikan boleh membantu. Keduanya, kita dah masuk fasa sonar, active and passive sonar, which involves submersibles, in which case submarine assets would be timely for us to start considering and discussing. But I must stress that it is submarines based on sonar capability for search, and possibly this is quite limited in the field of military, and that is being discussed at the military level. Walau apapun, saya telah mewujudkan satu komiti khas di mana Timbalan Menteri Pertahanan telah pun diamanahkan untuk mempengerusikannya, dan komiti jawatan kuasa ini akan memperincikan apa jua aset-aset lain yang perlu kita tengokkan dalam fasa ini.
All right. Yes, second row. My colleague on there.
Assalamualaikum, Datuk. Ismail bernama. Okay, I have two questions. The first one is for Datuk Seri. Okay, so far has Australia informed the status of the 4 signals detected earlier? I understand the 5th signal detected by P3 Orion is not related to MH370. Since there's no debris and no oil slick that can be related to MH370, is there a remote possibility that the analysis by Inmarsat and AAIB is inaccurate? And is there a possibility that the plane might have flown somewhere else, perhaps up further north than from southern Indian Ocean?
Okay.
Okay. I have another question for Datuk Azharuddin. What are the possibility that a plane presumably crashed into the ocean, leaving no debris at all? Thank you.
The third question was it?
No, second question.
Second question, plane crashing into the ocean, no
Without
debris.
any debris.
Without any debris.
Zah, answer the debris one first.
We don't want to speculate here. Can you? We don't want to speculate here. You see, your question is what is the possibility of aircraft ditching into the water, into the sea without any debris? We don't know. That's the reason why we use the locator pinger locator, the towed pinger locator, to detect any detection from the black boxes, and then they have found 4 of the detection, and the Australian authorities have marked the areas, and they are now using the Bluefin 21 to search the area on the seabed, and we don't know for sure whether the aircraft is in one piece or so you do not speculate, please. We do not know until the Australian authorities or we in the future can take imagery to image of any of the wreckage of the aircraft on the seabed. That is something that we have to do, and we're going to do it. Inshallah, we will find.
The latest signals from the P3 Orion is exactly the point when we state, and that has always been the Malaysia's position, that any information that we receive must be verified and corroborated. I can confirm that the information from the P3 Orion, the latest, was a leak, and it wasted a lot of time overnight trying to identify it, and it was found to be negative. So it is very important that people don't speculate and based on information that has not been verified and corroborated. With regards to the location, today and tomorrow is imperative that we focus, because the GACC and all the experts have narrowed the area of search to what we are looking at today and tomorrow. And that's what Prime Minister Abbott said, and I totally agree with him. Whatever the outcome of the next few days, we need to regroup and reconsider the operations. It doesn't mean that we are going to stop the operations, but that will go directly to your question, Ismail, regarding as to whether we have to relook again on the data, whether it is satellite from Inmarsat, whether it's radar, whether it is the ping locator, whether it's other information that we have received from all these 26 countries that are assisting us.
Yes, please. Nih, depannya.
Datuk Seri Salina daripada TV3. Datuk Seri, saya nak tanya, apakah agaknya pembentangan yang akan diberikan oleh ahli jawatan kuasa pada sidang kabinet yang akan datang? Nak tahu butiran pembentangan lah kalau boleh. Dan kedua, kalau boleh Datuk Seri komen sikit mengenai Nancy Shukri yang pernah beritahu baru-baru ni bahawa yang Malaysia berikrar tidak akan menyerahkan hak melindungi dan menyiasat kotak hitam MH370 sekiranya ditemui. Boleh komen sikit mengenai itu?
Kedua-dua perkara itu di bawah tanggungjawab jawatan kuasa teknikal, dan mungkin Datuk Aziz can say a few words regarding that.
Pada dasarnya regarding to the investigation, international investigation team, we have drafted the proposal, and we will submit to the government, to the cabinet this Wednesday. And we also propose the teams, and we are sure to form the team is an independent team of investigators, which is not only competent and transparent, but also highly credible. So this team are divided into three groups. That is the airworthiness, that covers the maintenance record, structures and system, but also the operations that will look into the flight operations, also the flight recorders. And the third one is the human factor. That's all.
All right. Yes, sir. Your question.
Hi, Dr. Sri. I'm Junling from Malaysia Kini.
Hi.
according to Annex 13, Malaysia should have jurisdiction over the black box, but at the same time, the same document also states that it should be read out as soon as possible without delay, and also that if the state handling the investigation does not ability to do the necessary forensic, should be handled by a state who does. So what are your comments on that? How this is going to play out, and does Malaysia has the necessary facilities?
We have to deal with it on the technical aspect, the expertise available out there to analyze the data within the black box. We have to deal with it on the diplomatic channel because it involves 14 countries and nationals. But at the end of the day, what is more important is to find the black box first.
All right, local media. Oh, yes, please.
Datuk Seri, I'm Tan from Guangming.
Hi.
Sebab nak tanyakan apakah kandungan MOU yang disign between Malaysia dengan Australia?
Okay. Answer.
Yep.
The framework agreement antara Malaysia dengan Australia adalah satu it's an understanding. It's an agreement between the two states to how to deal with the wreckage, the black box, and also the human remains if we are able to locate it. So we are unable to tell you in detail because this will be a discussion agreement to be agreed upon and signed between the two states. Until such time, we are unable to give you detail. And once we have agreed with the Australian and we have sorted out the details, we should be able to give the details to the media. Thank you.
I've also spoken to Angus Hussein with regards to the possibility of making sure that whatever arrangements that we have with Australia, it is with consultation of all our international partners in the search. So diplomatic channels will have to be used. And like I said, when we move on to the next phase and whatever arrangements that we have with Australia, as we have done in the last how many weeks, we do that without any agenda, without any problems, and it's quite a seamless approach. That, I believe, is a testimony of the working understanding that we have with all our friends and partners in the SAR.
All right, we'll now open the floor for, yes. Last question from the side before I open the floor to international.
Assalamualaikum, Datuk Seri. Ida from Malay Mail. Just want to know, how confident are you that the search team is closing in to finding the aircraft?
Oh, difficult to say. But at the moment, it is important to focus on today and tomorrow. Based from my discussions with JACC and specifically with Angus Hussein, the narrowing of the search for today and tomorrow is at a very critical juncture. So I appeal to everybody around the world to pray and pray hard that we find something to work on over the next couple of days.
All right, gentlemen, we'll go on to the international circuit. Yes, please. Could you introduce yourself, please?
Good afternoon. I'm Elizabeth Palmer from CBS News. There's still some confusion among the relatives that I've been speaking to about the cell phone ping that apparently was picked up by one of the cell phone towers from the co-pilot's telephone. Can you tell us what you know about that? The Americans say it wasn't a call, it was just a communication between the phone. And perhaps explain how you think it could only be his phone, or were there other phones pinging other towers? That's the first question. Secondly, is your investigation at this time suggesting catastrophic mechanical failure as a cause of the disappearance, or some sort of human intervention? Are you favoring one over the other as the investigation goes forward?
Personally, to the second question, I think it's too early to conclude that. And on the first one, I'm personally not aware of any information regarding the phones. I don't know, but you all have got any indication?
The second question, we are not rule out any possibility. We don't want to speculate any possibilities on this accident. We are not going to have, we don't have any theories stronger than the others. We have to find the black box. We have to find the black box and analyze the black box to know exactly what actually happens to the aircraft. And on your first question, we don't have any reports of any calls being made from the investigation.
That came from the National Transportation Safety Board in America. I mean, it's not a rumor. This is something from an official. You read the same papers as I do. You've got to have read that. Are you aware of it?
But that's a third-party report. Whatever it is, we'll use the channels to check on it. Thank you.
Okay, we go on to the next one, please. Yes, sir.
Richard Paddock with the Wall Street Journal.
Hi.
As you said in your opening statement, it's been 6 weeks now since the plane went down. I'm wondering, at what point will you release a route map showing the flight of the plane and its altitude at different points? And secondly, does the unwillingness to release this basic kind of information contribute to public sentiment reflected in a recent poll showing that only 26% of Malaysians think the government is telling the truth about the plane?
I think that is not true. The support that has been coming around from around the world, and I've just had a defense exhibition, and I met all the leaders from so many countries, and they're saying that this is an unprecedented situation. And they believe that what we have done is something that no country out there has actually experienced. So how are you going to benchmark that as far as our performance is concerned? That is purely speculative, and it is irresponsible, and it does not represent the majority of the views out there. People want us to continue. We have done so with the friends all around the world. There is a small group of people that may be cynical about how we're going to go forward, but the truth will always prevail. We have nothing to hide, and the committees that we have established, whether it is the international investigation team that we have established, the 3 ministerial teams, those will be the right structure for us to address the issues that you have raised, sir, so that there won't be speculation and further questions being raised to even make the waters even more murky. Just one question, please.
One.
You sit down.
Okay, any other? So, yes, please, sir.
Hi, I'm Chan from CNN.
Hi.
I want to ask questions directed to Mars, actually. How many ELTs were fitted on MH370? And are there any ideas on why there's been no signals coming from the ELTs so far? Thank you.
I think that question was answered many weeks ago. The aircraft is equipped with normal numbers of ELTs, that's 4. And why we didn't pick up, I think we don't know. That's the question, that's the truth.
All right, any other questions? Yes, in front here, please. Panther. No. The lady in front, please. Sorry, sir. Thank you.
Hi, Samisha from Channel News Asia. Datuk Sri, earlier you were talking about how after the final bluefin search next week, that officials will be meeting again to discuss about looking at the Inmarsat data. Yeah. Do we have a date for when this meeting will take place, and will you be going to Australia to participate in the discussion?
Yes, like I said, today and tomorrow is quite important for us to find out more details, because all the efforts have been focused in the area that has been identified. By Monday, I think we'll be in a better position to see what needs to be done. And this is at the very highest level. Both the 2 prime ministers are discussing on timelines. And I indicated to Angus Houston that whatever decision that needs to be made and whatever announcements that we are going to make, I hope to be by his side when he makes it. But even before that happens, with regards to the 3 committees that have been set up, whether it's the technical, the next of kin, or the deployment of assets, they are going to make certain trips to Australia in the next few days. I can confirm that Hamza's team and Hamza himself will be down in Perth next week. And Angus Houston has informed me that they're looking forward to discussing further on preparations with regards to the families of those passengers. Just one more. James?
One last question, please. Yes.
Hi, James Chow from CCTV News. I just wanted to ask you, Minister, about the 3rd committee that you mentioned there. I think it was the asset deployment. And given that clearly the ping seemed to be coming from extreme depths, is there the technology or is there the innovation available to continue that search realistically on the technical front beyond this week, for example? So aside from the commitment that you expressed there, is there actually the technical infrastructure to support that, given what you know from that committee and also the private commercial assets? From
what I've discovered, and I need to rely on the experience of Air France 447 and Jean-Paul Trodec's own experience, where the signals from that black box expired way before the 2-year period in which they discovered the black box. And they moved from the ping locator to sonar technology, from vessels, airplanes, to underwater, even deep sea vessels. And that, as I alluded to in my statement just now, requires the cooperation of commercial entities, especially oil companies involving with deep sea rigs. And that is exactly what we have been doing in the last few days, getting Malaysian companies who have got partners internationally to identify the assets is required based on the advice by the French team. And with that technology, hopefully when we move on to the next phase, the assets are already available and it will be different from what is already in the site area. But as for today and tomorrow, we'll use the assets that are already available there, and let's pray that something positive comes out of what is happening right now. And if that happens, then that planning, which I indicated to you, James, may not be required. Thank you very much.
Okay, with that, we conclude the session for today. Thank you very much for coming, and NEPC, we will inform you through email. I would appreciate if you could register with our colleagues. We have a media registration table. Just update your